be advised, the opinions and views of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Hi, my name's Tambuatco. Welcome to the program. I know I've been remiss. I've been out for 2 weeks, and thank God my partner here, Dr. John Teope, has been more than accommodating to sit in for me. The truth of the matter is, well, considering Valentine's coming up in about 1 or 2 days, I guess I've been preparing, so much so I have come with the color red, except it's in my right eye. Ladies and gentlemen, what exactly is Valentine's Day and what exactly is the situation that we're confronted with? I'm not going to bore you with the impeachment trial, considering today is the most riveting day, because we're going to find out if the legislation is stronger than the Supreme Court and vice versa, right? And the winner being the dictator. Wait, did I say that right? Either way, it's a comedy of errors, and I call this the circus that refuses to leave town. It has become and has made us all divisive, and it has made us all very wary of what truths are that are put in front, especially the prosecution, the defense, saying that there's 100 million hanging on each senator's head. Now, either way, by now, you would have known, being nighttime, you would know already the truth of whatever allegations and whatnot, and who would have won. I'll tell you the real winner here, or the real loser better, which is the Filipino people. But let's go to some more interesting events. Let's see. Current events. Whitney Houston passed away. Nobody knows exactly how or why, except that she was found in the bathtub. Lessons learned. She bathes. And my heart goes out to the star who, well, brought us a lot of beautiful songs. And in that light, maybe our subject for this show, so as not to bore you, because we're always talking, or I'm always so serious with all my satirical comments about the impeachment trial and what is right and rule of law. Why don't we talk rule of love? Alam mo, after all, we are Filipinos, and we are all very sentimental. We're a very emotional race. I realize this has been a creation of the, the greeting cards, right? But nevertheless, it's nice to know that Filipinos are emotional and have a heart. At least we can differentiate from the Greeks, from the European Union, the Japanese, etc. Here in the Philippines, even in the classified ads on Valentine's Day, you will see a lot of greetings. And greetings and the expression of love and emotion is not limited to a spouse, husband, or girlfriend, boyfriend, but to brother and sister, son to mother, father to daughter. Because after all, the expression of love is not limited. It is wholesome, so to speak. Now, we have a nice show for you, and we have a very interesting set of guests. We're going to have 3 portions in this show. And for this first portion, my partner in crime, we've got Dr. John Teope, who's going to introduce our guests. Hi, John.
Thank you, Harry.
Never mind the crime. Go straight to the love, the spirit of love.
Okay, happy Valentine's, everybody. You know, during the past weeks about impeachment, hatred, more of banging each other on these 2 sets of the prosecution and the defense. Now we need to look at the good perspective of living, which is love. Our topic for today is...
Natatawa ko dyan eh, love. Tayong dalawa, we're talking about love, right? Okay.
Yeah, modeling, love, and politics. How do you mix it up? So we invited a guest who is in the modeling industry, and also invited models, intellectual models that would also discuss politics and love. And maybe people would see it at this point in time. What is love? The role of love in this political arena right now. Maybe if there is love, there is no impeachment. If there is love, there is no war among everybody. So our guest is, first our guest is the president and the founder of Modelo Pilipinas, which is a Rotarian, is Mr. Edward Dennis Arca, and besides him is a model, Modelo Pilipinas, which is Celine Cristobal.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. Hello.
Model, love, and anong topic natin? Model,
Love and politics.
love, and politics.
I'm
O,
more
sige.
interested with love, I think.
But why don't you introduce us? Tell us exactly what's Modelo Filipino first.
Basically, Modelo Pilipinas is a casting, events, and training company. We manage models, for advertising jobs,
Talent. So basically,
Talents,
talent event organization.
Yeah, hindi kami yung the other side of talents. Kami yung wholesome part ng talent.
Then what is the other side of talent management?
Ito yung nakikita mo sa Quezon Avenue, maraming talents yan, no?
Marami ba doon?
Yeah, marami. Siguro parang
Hindi mo alam,
parang hindi nyo alam.
Hindi, alam ba mo nakatira? Ba't ako mapapagpag... I mean, I'm there during the daytime when it's the lower house and I go
There are
to see.
also
That's why.
talent in Burgos, Makati. Yeah.
Hindi, Koreatown tawag doon eh.
Koreatown.
Koreatown na tawag sa Burgos ngayon. But go ahead.
Ours is legitimate talent. So we market models for commercial, print ads, events, runway, and so on and so forth.
I'm sure you don't have a hard time kasi the Filipino is good looking, both male and female.
I agree with you.
Di ba? So, hindi ka nahirap. Can you imagine if your work was in Afghanistan? Puro ganito lang na nakikita mo, yung mata na lang, I'll take you as a model. Mata lang tinitingnan mo, di ba? So, congratulations on your... Celine, tell us about yourself. I know you're scared because you're on TV. We're gonna scare you some more. No, but tell us about yourself. Are you in school? Tapos ka na?
I just graduated. I took up nursing.
Nursing.
Yes.
Great. So now you're going to add 201,000 now. That's going to be unemployed. But you are now also modeling habang nag-aaral ka. You're graduated. What are you going to do now? You'll work with Edward, right?
Yes.
Oh, good.
So why go into modeling? Why not run for SK?
Political.
There are more money in politics better than modeling.
Parang natuturuan.
Bakit sa modeling? Anong meron sa modeling na gusto mo?
In modeling, you get to represent something and you get to inspire people.
Politiko, di ba? They inspire people. They deceive people.
Pare, hindi naman Supreme Court. You know, Celine, this is not impeachment court. It's called the senator judges who are harassing the resource people.
Yeah.
But carry on.
Natakot ka?
Natakot sa politics.
Natakot sa politics.
May politics ba sa Modelo?
Of course there is. Especially when you deal with casters, it's hard, especially now. You're sending legitimate models, contracted models for projects. But the problem is most of these casters who are tasked.
What do you mean by casters?
Casters, they are the one who's in charge of looking for talents or models for projects.
Oh, talent. Okay.
At times, they have their own set of talents. So this time, we are not just competing with our co-agents. We're also competing with the casters themselves. And most of them do have their pool of freelance model. I think that's the number one problem nowadays with modeling. Compared with the 90s. The 90s, a commercial project can command a whooping commercial shampoo, for example, project can command a whooping 1 million budget. Way back 1992. Now, you will be lucky to get 200,000 pesos.
Actually, Harry, during the 90s, the modeling industry was tainted by a scandal. I think that was the time of Angelica Jones and Hans Montenegro. And,
No comment.
and I think, how do the modeling agency, the modeling business, survive with that kind of a situation? Because during that time, even the Senate is investigating about it, the modeling industry.
Because mahirap magsalita. Because some of the senators then are, oops, mahirap magsalita.
Kliyente?
Hindi ako nagsasalita. Nanonood mahirap na.
So, trabaho lang basically. Modeling, you seek out talent who are one, physically good-looking.
Number one.
Na kailangan, di ba?
Yeah.
So, I guess, tanggal na yung mga matataba at yung pangit.
There is also what we call the plus-size models.
Plus size. So, meron mga
Plus
matataba.
size, yeah.
Yung pangit talaga hindi na pwede. Paano
marami
kung
pa rin.
bobo model mo? Pwede ba yun? Maganda, sexy, payat, pero bobo naman.
Yun ang mahirap. Kahit
Hirap
gaano ka kaganda, it's hard for us to market those pretty girls or beautiful girls
Pero
without this.
pwedeng turuan ng bobo. Yung pangit, di pwedeng mapaganda.
Siguro pwede yan for print, especially now, on photo shoots,
Yeah.
usong-uso. Ang Pilipinas, pwede nga tayo mag-apply sa Guinness. Pinakamaraming models sa buong mundo.
Totoo.
Yeah. Why? Tutuwin ka lang sa Facebook. There are a lot of... matatawa ka talaga, no? Kikita mo nila, nag-tutorial, nag-photoshoot, no? Parang made ko yun, Minsan parang sinasabi nga namin, mukha bang model yun o mukhang...
Porkit made, di naman pangit eh.
May maganda rin. May maganda rin. Kaya marami rin celebrity na nagkakasala sa mid.
Kaya man na nakatulong is it's derogatory because of domestic help and the kind of work it's looked at as a very low job when in reality it's just the job that they have to go for because it's available rather than not be productive and not do anything. Do your models have political points of views? Do they even... for example, sabihin nila, okay, you've got an advertiser, you have a client who ruins the environment. They cut trees indiscriminately, kinakalbo mga, whatever, ang bundok. And they want a model from you because they want to put a big stone building, ang gawa ng bato, and they want pretty models in front. Meron ka ba models na sabihin, hey, wait, I don't stand for that. I believe in the environment.
So far,
may ganun ba na model sa inyo?
For close to 20 years in the business, wala pa naman.
So they don't harass you. So work is work.
Wala naman nag-harass.
Wala pa.
Wala pa naman. Baka bukas meron na.
Si Celine, bakit ka nahilig sa modeling?
I am inspired by the fashion industry, and then...
Anong gusto mo? Ramp model, commercial model, print model, ano?
Everything.
Everything.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking at you on the TV. You're quite telegenic.
Yeah.
Pati ka maging artista. Naghahanap sila parati sa Channel 7 at Channel 2, di ba? Hindi, ngayon Channel 5 na rin.
Pala mo si GNN, meron na rin, no? The future.
Puro seryoso dito, puro politics.
Puro public affairs dito.
Puro impeachment ba dito?
Hindi naman.
Do you have male models as well?
Yes, we have male models. But we have more female models than male models. Siguro ang babae kasi mas madaling,
Ang mawa din is adult models. Kami ni Harry. Pwede mo ba kami models?
Why not? Why not?
Yeah, sure. You mean like Senator Lacson, right?
Seriously, guys.
Choose my hair color. You know, it's only falling.
Well, seriously, there's a big market for seasoned veteran like you guys. Seasoned veteran.
Seasoned veteran.
Seasoned veteran.
Anong product ang pwede kay Harry?
There's a lot. Especially with Harry, no? Yeah.
Ako natignan. It's okay, I'm already on TV. Celine, kaya ba buhayin maging model? I mean, mabubuhay ka ba?
Yes, I guess.
Kaya? I mean, you can carve out a living. Can they?
Depends.
Because the problem is sustaining it. It's not the ability to make money, but the ability to sustain an income, di ba, that is sustaining, tuloy-tuloy. Yan ang problema, di ba? Like you said, it's become harder in the industry, especially for you, because many have created their own pool of talents, di ba?
So there are a lot of Brazilians in the market.
Dapat pagbawalan mo yan. You should go to Congress and say, bawal yan, di ba? I mean, abroad they do that.
Yes.
For example, you go to Australia, nagulat ako. If I wanted to be a waiter in a restaurant, hindi pwede. That's reserved for the Aussies. Ganun din sa Amerika, kailangan citizen ka, tama yun. Kasi it's an easy, part-time job for maybe 6 months, 1 year. You know,
When I seated before as director of the Talent Agents Organization, we fight for that. We fought for that, actually. You know. But the thing is, you have to talk to a congressman, to a senator, and it's a very, very long process. No?
Bakit long?
Long, in the sense like...
So bakit tatanungin pa bakit long? Pag impeachment lang,
kailangan meron kang
mabilis.
backer sa Congress or sa Senate, no? To really protect the modeling business per se. No? Kasi like in Thailand, no? Ang government nila supports the industry.
Legal ang prostitution sa Thailand.
Yeah, pero sa modeling business, bawal doon ang freelance. Hindi ka basta-basta makakapag-freelance.
Excuse me, Edward, Celine. We're going to have to cut this first portion, right, John? Because we have 2 other portions. We're going to introduce more guests as we come in. So we're going to take a short break now. And when we come back, we're going to introduce other models, right? I don't know what John's got up his sleeve, but let me tell you, it seems to go right up to the arm. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Okay, we're back again. Earlier we discussed about modeling, and our topic, as I mentioned, is modeling, love, and politics. Now, our guest, earlier we have Celine, and right now we have somebody that will discuss about love, and the color of love is red, and Valentine's is red, and the color of the defense team is also red. And I don't know what they mean by red. Is it activism, revolution? But as of now, red is love. So our next guest right now, who would accompany Dennis, is Laviet, Joaquin. So Laviet, so great day. How are you?
Good afternoon.
Angelica.
Angelica. Sorry. Angelica, Joaquin. Sorry.
No, Consulta.
Angelica, Consulta. So,
Yan ang problema dyan pag marami kang babae. Nagugulo ka na. Pero pag history pinag-uusapan at politics, hindi na ililito eh.
May long na dito.
Oo nga. Tell us about yourself now that you are going to be who we are going to prosecute. But tell us about yourself.
I study at San College, Alabang, and I'm 18 years old. I'm taking out marketing management.
In San Beda?
Yes.
Yes. That's in Alabang Hills, right. Okay, so tell us about love.
Love.
Well, what is your perception, or what do you think love is?
Well, for me, love is... Wala. I just feel it.
Tell us your perception of Valentine's. What is Valentine's? What should Valentine's be?
It should be giving love. You should share it with someone else. Not
do you
really
have
with
someone to share? Do you have that someone else?
Right now, no.
So it's a sad Valentine's.
No, not really. I have my friends and family.
Oh, good. So that's a good way of looking at
So
it.
Angelica, looking at Valentine's right now, how do you look at Valentine's Day as being celebrated? Because usually Valentine's is usually dating, partners, and how is suppose Valentine's Day is to be celebrated by Filipino?
Should be celebrated with your family.
Family.
Yes, for me. Kasi, kung like me, I don't have a boyfriend. And
Wala pa daw boyfriend siya, mga viewers.
so, kailangan, hindi naman kailangan, pero mas gusto ko i-celebrate it with my family.
So Dennis, sa modeling ninyo sa Modelo Pilipinas, Valentine's event, do you handle it?
Yeah, we handle Valentine's event. Because aside from handling models, we handle different kinds of events. Pero mostly ang specialization kasi namin is fashion-related events.
Do you have politicians who are clients in events management?
Politicians as clients. As much as possible, we avoid those personalities.
Bakit?
Mayroon daw mamuleka para.
Ganun pala perception.
Yung tawag, di ba, ng bangko is PEP sa politicians?
PEP?
Politically exposed person. Meron ba sa modeling industry na may classification yung mga politicians?
Well, sa amin wala naman classification sila. No? But sa amin per se, yung magiging client namin sila, siguro, one, show us the money. Let's be practical, show us the money, no? Because I got so many friends who are victims of these unruly politicians. Hindi ko naman sinasabi lahat sila. But some of them, especially during elections, no, hirap magbayad, especially kung natalo na.
You have to collect up front. Why? How did you become a model? How did you get to know Modelo Pilipinas?
Website.
All right. So you go on the web, but you don't know, and then you apply.
No, I went to their office.
Right. And that's how you get jobs. What kind of jobs do you like doing?
Right now.
Face, photography.
Print ads.
Print ads. So basically.
And runway, but
Runway.
wala akong height eh.
Pero runway, di ba? Ang pagkaalam ko sa runway, hindi madali yan eh. I mean, walking is difficult. I understand that.
Mga hanger, di ba?
Yeah, I can appreciate the runway walk is not easy.
Yeah.
It's a way of walking, turn, twisting, and then it's also being comfortable with the clothes that you're going to be wearing,
Yes.
diba? So it's not all that easy, you know. A lot of people think it's an easy thing. I've watched it abroad as well. It's difficult.
Harry, I work as a professional model coach. I train models, especially...
Oh, so you also
runway.
train other than running the
Yes.
show. You have the talent.
We have a school for modeling.
Oh,
It's
okay.
been running for close to 8 years now. We have over
Congratulations.
700 graduates on our fall. We produce international models, beauty queens, models, celebrities, a lot of them. No?
So Dennis, how is the modeling industry today? Because as I look at in Facebook, it seems that it is so very sporadic that parang naglalabasan, parang kabuti eh. Ang mga photoshoot, modeling, masabi lang rumampa, model
If
na.
we're talking about specifically the Facebook, puro photoshoot yan. Okay? Kahit sino lang pwede i-photoshoot. No? Pero yung sa advertising, yun yung mga bawal naman i-post sa Facebook. No? Not all the times you can post a project at Facebook. No? Because sa mga brands, kasi especially kung may bagong shoot, no? You cannot just show it sa Facebook agad or sa net. No? Meron tinatawag tayong trade secret. No? So, hindi mo kagad pwedeng i-show yung material kahit ba kinuha mo lang sa shooting. Bawal yun eh. No? Nasa part ng contract ng isang model yun. Kaya nakikita natin lahat sa Facebook, most cases are photoshoots.
You're a marketing student, right?
Yes.
So what do you expect to do? You're 18, so you would be about second year college by now. Is that correct?
Yes.
So what do you are now doubling up. You're working part-time when there are job opportunities and you're going to school full-time. And you want to become a model continuously. Is that correct?
Yes.
And why do you think you were accepted? Because you're pretty. You think you're pretty. You know, I'm only doing that. I purposely put you on a spot.
Okay, going back to love. Right now is that perceptions among men. Anong hinahanap mo sa lalaki?
Caring.
Caring?
Sweet.
Kailangan
Boy
ba?
bunda.
Sure, gusto ko respectful. No, not like him.
Gusto mo gwapo? Mga ganun?
Siyempre.
Matangos ang mata, mapuno.
Tangkad.
Bakla.
No, of course not.
Paano pag gwapo? Bobo naman.
Ay,
Akat na kagad. Mayaman, kailangan mayaman.
hindi naman.
Hindi naman.
Middle class.
Middle class.
Pero yung dapat syempre na, kaya sustain yung perfect life. Not really perfect, pero yung life na gusto ko.
Ano yung life na gusto mo?
Syempre, yung maganda.
Maganda.
Well, she comes from an exclusive school, so
yeah.
obviously her parents have the ability to maintain. Obviously, your models are all coming from top quality schools. So what is this?
Mostly.
Yeah. You purposely do this?
No. Siguro we're quite selective because we have the screening process. We try to identify siguro those models who are not just pretty, but also those models who possess personalities.
Paano kung politically inclined mga yan? Hindi pwede.
We're open naman to any models basta they pass the screening.
How about concept of morality in modeling? Yung may iba kasi, halimbawa, mayroong past, may background investigation ba yan?
We try to dissect their character.
Ganun. Kasi mga
We
kasira
don't
sa
really care
agency
kung
ko.
ano yung past nila. Seriously, we don't really care about their past. Kasi what we do care about is if they are quite truthful with their answers. No? So sabi nga nila, I have a third eye daw. I can read people. No? That's my advantage. No? You will know people if they're lying or not.
See, the problem I would imagine in his job, John, would be when a product or a brand gets a woman or a man to front for the product, right, to be the face of the product, that specific endorsement can make the brand vulnerable if the person has a bad past.
Yes.
Diba? For example, if it becomes a celebrity, the classic case was when Martin Rivera was married to, what's her name? Pops, Dio Fernandez. They were supposedly the love team. I think it was Pepsi Cola, correct? This was some 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You remember that? No?
Yes.
And then they had to break up for whatever reason, marital problems. And that broke the image of the endorsement of the product. So that hurt the product even more. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, right.
So it's very important that the endorser, even the face as you see on print ads, can be backed up. Correct me if I'm wrong. Especially for celebrities at least.
Yes.
Di ba tama?
Tama.
So kailangan maingat ka, di ba?
Maingat ka talaga.
Halimbawa kasi wala kang boyfriend sa ngayon, sa kasalukuyan, di ba? Dennis, yung may mga relasyon na modelo, may mga boyfriend. ano ba siya, liability ba siya sa mga model? Kasi yung iba, syempre, pag nag-away yan, pagbabawalan, ikaw lalaki, baka pagsilosan ka. Di ba?
We're talking about my models.
Okay, sa models mo,
Well, siguro a few lang kasi nagkaroon ng relationship. The thing is, I stand parang as a big brother to them. When nagkaroon ng problem, normally I call their attention. But the thing is, when nagkaroon na ng problem yung family, may involved pa rin pati ako, no? I try to help them, no? Especially when we deal with religion. That's the hardest part, no? Kunyari, isa iglesia, isa katoliko, yan ang nagiging problem, no? So I have to give advice to these models, no?
So you play father, basically.
Yes.
wala kang modelo na anak ng politiko, ganun.
Meron before.
Ano, hindi ka nagkaroon ng sakit ng ulo?
Well, hindi naman. Hindi naman. So,
Anak ng mga
No,
pulis.
you know what it is? You know what Dennis' secret is? He owns a chastity belt.
Yeah.
It's a joke. It's a joke. But it must be difficult because, one, they're young, they're vulnerable. These kids are looking for a good life. They're looking for a future. Modeling is sensual. It's pretty. It's fashionable. And it's a nice thing to be part of, diba?
Yes.
Especially in your youth, you are at your best. So why not, diba? Everybody likes that. But you have to be careful. You also have to be very protective for them. Correct me if I'm wrong.
yes, especially with the agency, we're quite conservative.
No.
In
I
getting
imagine you must be
models.
very strict.
Ay,
Stricto ba siya? Very,
Yes, he is.
stricto siya. Good. That means he's a good boss. Because if he's not strict, you'll be in trouble.
Siguro,
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Harry, si we're on the last minute, si Angelica is in marketing and you're with Modelo Pilipinas. Bigyan kita ng time. How would you, on national TV, paano mo ibebenta yung Modelo Pilipinas?
That's a hard question.
Model ka doon, di ba?
Siguro,
Anong meron?
first off, kailangan ko maging role model para, a lot of people will follow me. Parang ganun.
Anong meron ng Modelo Pilipinas na maaaring wala kaya ibang modeling agency?
Siya.
No. Hindi. Unity.
Unity.
Ayun.
Our models kasi know each other. Most of the models.
Okay, we're going to have to take a break. We're on our second break, and we're going to go on to our third portion. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we have another one, John, is that
Yeah,
correct?
yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. Stay with us. We'll be on our third salvo, right? With another guest, right, Dennis? Okay, so stay with us. We'll be right back.
So we're back again. You know, as they say, beauty without a substance, that would be a problem. Models, per se, are not just displays. In Modelo Pilipinas, as mentioned by Dennis, they screen it. And one factor is that we need to look at also the character and even the intelligence of each and every model. Now, we're now in the third portion of our discussions, and we'll now look at, we discussed about modeling, next is lab, we go to politics. And now, earlier I missed a comment in the introduction. I introduced her earlier, and I would like to introduce her again. She's from, I think, it's a student of De La Salle University. Her name is Laviet Joaquin. And with Dennis right now, I think Laviet would answer questions. So, now, Laviet, looking at the present scenario of what is happening in our society, politics, as a model, how do you look at the events right now? What is your comment about it? About, for example, the Corona impeachment.
Oh, okay. I would really love to answer that, but knowledge in that really isn't all that sufficient for it. I'm sorry.
So how do you look at politics today?
Politics today,
Yeah.
like in society.
Yeah.
Because politics, power play, right?
Yeah.
Basically, right now I could only see my opinion would be like the government right now. It's just I could see that the government, it's more of like leeches on us, the Filipinos. we're kind of, it seems like we don't really have our right of speaking up, our right of making a change. It seems like it's just around them, like around just for the government to make the change, when I feel like even the people of the lower class, I feel like they could actually help in influencing change in the society, in the Philippine society. So I feel like, for me, it seems as though we are just being repressed when it comes to the freedom of speech. Because for me, I'm just very much passionate about it. I have so many opinions. I think that I could, if I could graduate, when I graduate, I mean, and then when I graduate from law school, maybe I could actually help in the whole political scene. So that's what I would feel like, I would feel that we should focus more on. So since we are a democratic country, so having the right, everyone having the right to actually speak their mind, little by little, it could actually help improve the society. But of course, corruption, it's just inevitable, so.
Wait, hold on. Amerikano ka ba?
Yeah.
No.
May accent siya.
Oh, sorry.
Slang.
It's a slang. Right?
Amerikano ka ba?
No.
Pilipino ka ba?
Yeah.
Sino nagturo sa'yo ng English?
My mom, my parents.
Oh, okay, ano?
Yeah.
Pwede mong paturo sa kanila?
Oh.
Para naman, well, you know.
Sorry.
No, I'm only pulling your leg.
Yeah.
So you have a different point of view. You have a strong point of view as far as politics. And you're saying that government, correct me if I'm wrong, okay?
Yes.
That government are leeches because they're eating off the people. And, well, as much as you would like to improve it, this is the way things are, and hopefully as you're the student with international studies,
Yes.
right? Okay. And so obviously you are contemplating law, and that you will be able to deliver to the people.
Yeah.
But alam mo, I'd like to be a student of your mother, you know, para makuha ko naman yung accent.
Doesn't necessarily mean that you have the accent when you have this course. No, I think it's just I've been watching too many cartoons, like international cartoons, when I was a kid. So growing up, I kind of developed this accent.
International cartoon character.
International
Yes,
character.
yes.
Na mga anak ko parati din nanonood ng mga cartoons eh. Hindi naman ganun ang English nila.
Sorry.
Mga political cartoon character. No?
Now my son goes to LaSalle also.
Oh,
He's in mechanical engineering. He's going on he's ending his second year, but that's aside the point.
Oh, okay.
LaSalle is a prestigious school. It's
Yes.
also quite expensive.
Yes.
You are lucky, so your parents must belong to upper class in society. Now, how do you feel about right in front of LaSalle? Because LaSalle is quite a situation, you know.
Yeah.
You've got this academic institution set right in the middle of the city. You've got Taft Avenue, and you've got other schools in there. And LaSalle is what we call an open university because there are public streets in between. You have Taft Avenue, you've got Agno behind, you know. And the minute you walk out of the fence, talagang you're really out in the open, di ba? Public na eh, di ba? Now, you see a lot of beggars as well as squatters and, you know, all different kinds of people trying to make a living. How do you differentiate that? I mean, especially for the students. Marami dyan that come from the expensive schools, you know, they come from all over. And then all of a sudden, you're in university. Biglang tatawid ka ba? Ibang klase tawid itong mga ito. Pero hindi sila nag-i-English. Ang nagagaling managalog itong mga ito. Bebe pang salita. Didn't you have that problem when you were in LaSalle when you moved in?
I think I've had this problem for quite a while. It doesn't necessarily...
You don't see it as a problem?
I see it more of just people adjusting to me. It's not really much of a problem because having...
Pero marunong ka managalog, ano?
But yeah, of course. But I don't really answer profoundly when it's in Filipino.
Why?
Unfortunately, it's a long story. My mom taught us English first, and then I just developed it a lot more instead of in Filipino.
Okay, I won't discuss it with you.
Sorry.
Looking at the politics today, I'm sure they talk about it in LaSalle, considering that you are in international studies, so you have political science courses as well.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
They discuss it. How is the beat or the emotion of the LaSallites or LaSallian today, as they're called? I'm from LaSalle as well, incidentally. I'm both Ateneo and LaSalle. How are the students? You know, during my time, it was foul. It was very difficult. It was the birth of martial law. I stepped into university in 1972. That's when they declared martial law. And believe me, it was difficult. but it improved. What I found even worse was when I was in LaSalle Green Hills. And that was worse because that was chaos every day until Marcos came in and said, stop this. Now there's only going to be one ruler. That's called the dictator. But nawala yung gulo. Today, well, how did the Lasalites feel? I remember before Noynoy came in, Cory and Brother Armin, who is now our education secretary, who is the academic, the highest in the academic in LaSalle, in the hierarchy. They were anti-GMA, right? They used to go to LaSalle non-stop. In fact, during the elections, marami diyang debate eh. Dinala dyan sa LaSalle. Are the LaSallites or LaSallians politically inclined, or do they feel for the country?
Of course they do.
Do you talk about it in school?
Yes.
So tell me about the Chief Justice. Are you for him or against him?
Well, unfortunately...
I was only trying to pull your leg. Yeah,
I could feel that. I could feel that.
But what do you think's going on? I'm sure you know what's going on. I mean...
I have an idea of what's going on.
She mentioned one thing earlier about corruption. Why do you say there's corruption?
You honestly believe our politicians are corrupt?
Yeah.
Honestly?
Seriously?
Yeah.
Honestly,
Really?
yes.
Why?
Why?
I believe because when you have power, when you have like a certain degree, a certain amount of power, especially for like politicians, because they're way up in the social status, like of course with the social stratification. When they have a certain amount of power, it seems like it's hard for them to stray away from greed. So things become so corrupt, and that's why I feel...
So to be a politician, well, let's look at America. Is Obama corrupt?
Well, I don't think so, but I think that, I don't know, for me, I don't think he's really doing
Is
much.
Berlusconi corrupt now that he stepped down? How about Sarkozy, Merkel, all these other people around the world who are leaders? Because politicians, are they synonymous to being corrupt? In your mind only. You can answer any way you wish. Honestly, I'm not crucifying you.
Yeah, of course. I'm not putting a certain amount of like a bad reputation in politicians. Of course not. But the thing is, for me, I just see them as being corrupt because, like I said, when you have a certain amount of power, it really I find the people there, the people who are like, let's say who are part of the Congress or the Senate, it seems like it's hard for them just to stray away from being like from greed, from getting money from getting money from the people, from us, from the taxes, and then. That's why I kind of, I don't know, I really don't know what your opinion is, but that's why I really...
My opinion?
Yeah.
You're talking about me?
I know.
Go ahead.
I know. But that's why I think with Noynoy, because right now I think he's focusing more on the anti-corruption, and I...
Is Noynoy a good president?
For my opinion, because I don't know, I think it's still in the early stages, because right now what I'm seeing is, he's just focusing on taking corruption out of the government. Because with the previous administration, with GMA, it's kind of hard for him, like it's kind of hard for our country to prosper if the people who are leading the country, the people who are actually there to be our role models, are just in this situation, how they're just so corrupt, how they get their money, how they like use us. So I think what Noynoy is doing, I see what Noynoy is doing, that I could see that what he's doing is he's just taking out the corruption, he's taking out all the leeches in the government, so that what's left now are the people who are passionate about
How about the leeches within his cabinet?
Oh, I don't know.
What can you say about it?
The leeches right now,
Yeah.
they're sucking our blood.
How about you, Dennis? What's your political point of view?
With the corona case,
Yeah.
I don't know, called Philippines.
the Philippines. Sabi nga ng isang Arab guy that I met, no? Kung ano yung gobyerno, yun ang tao. No? If the government is corrupt, corrupt din ang tao. Something. Now, with regards to the corona case, let me share to you my opinion. Sabi ko, I'm not a follower of the corona impeachment. Not because I'm anti or pro-corona. What I think, though, what's wrong is the process. Kasi hindi rin ako anti-Pinoy. Even though I don't like Pinoy. Pero I'm not anti-Pinoy. I think for some point na ginagawa niya, okay, no? Nakokontrol yung corruption. Because you cannot eliminate corruption in this country. Okay? With the corona thing, Ang masama lang yung kinamayan niya. Maya-maya pinahiya niya sa tao or something. Maybe for some hoodlums, you can do that. No? Pero you have to show respect para with the Chief Justice. No? Para sa akin kasi, hindi lang naman si Corona. For example, corrupt si Corona. Hindi lang si Corona ang nakasit sa Senate na corrupt.
Laviet, do you agree with him that corruption could not be eradicated anymore?
Yeah, I can't. But you could
Are you
actually.
corrupt? Have you been corrupted?
Yes.
Have you corrupted?
I think everyone, once in their life, has been corrupt or has been corrupted.
How do you define corruption?
Corruption, it's just something where, actually it's just so abstract. It's so hard to explain. Like when you ask Angelica about love, it's just so hard to explain. But
She can't explain love.
you can feel it. It's an emotion. You can't really put a definite description on it.
So we have a woman who can't explain love, and another woman who can't explain corruption.
Yeah. So abstract.
Can you imagine you're discussing corruption and love? I'm trying to find out the meaning of life.
Okay.
And I thought by the end of the show I would know it. I guess I won't. I'm pulling your leg again.
Yes, I can see that.
But you do have a very strong political point of view, and I'm not going to correct you, nor are we going to guide you. I think your points of views you will learn, and you learn this from your environment. La Salle is a very good institution. Your parents are obviously guiding you properly. You speak very well. You have a very good command of your English. I hope you do the same with your Tagalog. As for your studies, great. Now, as for your perception, there's no real correct answers, or there's no real wrong answers. What happens is you live and you work within your perceptions that work around you. So, tell us more about your points of views. I agree with what you're saying because there's nothing to agree or disagree with. But corruption, can you?
Yes, as I asked you,
How would you define it to the best of your ability?
Corruption?
Yeah.
I think it's just having the unfair way of using power. Corruption. Like how you deliver it and how it affects the people.
Okay, he would be fair. He corrupt, then he would give everything to the people.
You've been around the Philippines.
Yeah, that's fair.
I have been around Quezon City.
Yeah.
But Quezon City is big enough because
Yeah.
Quezon City you have the very well-to-do, and you also have the informal settlers that you see, especially in that new area that they're developing as the business park. Di ba may mga squatter doon, informal
Yeah.
settlers. What perceptions do you have when you see people who live in cardboard boxes?
Actually, I have so many opinions on that. For one, I don't want to say that it's just their fault, but everyone has a means of making their livelihood better. I mean, when it comes to your lifestyle, everyone has just that skill, that talent. They could actually help themselves, but the problem is, I don't think they have the right, the right resources to do so. Because for one, when you give taxes, when you have the taxes, you think that, oh, these will actually help us, the people, those who are of the lower class, it will help us because taxes are for us. Like when they have buildings, when they build the houses for those people who are like squatters. But the problem is, I don't think that they do it properly. I don't think that they illustrate it well. I don't think that they actually do their job. That's why the people right now, you know the term that the rich gets richer and then the poor gets just poorer.
Okay, you mentioned about problems and it is improper. We're now on the last part of our show. No, in terms of being proper, what do you think would be a solution, in your own point of view, to solve problems such as corruptions and problems of disunity and hatred in the society?
Wow, that's a very, very weighty question.
Yeah.
Just one solution for it?
Yeah. Any solution that you like to present?
It seems just so impossible because right now people have many, many ideas on how to solve it, and yet none just push through.
Why?
I think it's because they don't really do it properly, or because what you need for now is cooperation. And if people don't really cooperate, if people don't unite, if people don't have the same point of view, then it's going to be really hard for them to push through with all the plans, all the ideas. So for now, I think people should be on the same page. People should have the same perspective on the matter. But that in itself is just really impossible, because people have their own opinions, people have different perspectives, so you can't really have it.
Okay, we're down to the last part. Dennis, what would be your final message?
With regards to politics?
Anything, modeling.
When you need a model, you call me. How do people call you? What number?
470-9045, or they can also reach us through our mobile, 0917-756-5513.
That's Model Filipino.
Modelo Pilipinas
Modelo.
Casting and Training Center.
Casting and Training Center.
Okay, for those who are interested to enroll in our workshop, again, the numbers to call are 470-9045 or 0917-756-5513.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys. And what's your parting message,
Okay. Alam niyo po, mga kaibigan, yung topic natin ngayon, modeling, love, pag-ibig, at politics. Wala pong pagkakaiba dyan eh. May lahat, may relasyon. Sa ating politika, may mga politikong nag-aastang modelo na hindi naman marunong magmahal. May mga politiko na nandyan na kung saan umiepal na napapasikat. Siguro, one thing that we learned right now is that, as Laviet mentioned, solutions. The problem is that politicians should look at solutions and not problems. And that would be one thing that we need to look at. Senators should solve the problem, politicians should solve the problem, and not fight the problem.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining our program. As you be watching this, let's see, it'll be 8:10 tonight and ending at 9 o'clock. And again in the morning at 7 o'clock. And it's the opening of what we call the Valentine's Greeting Day. So go out there and put a smile on your face and expand or expose the love you have in your heart. So what else can I say? We love you all. Magandang araw po sa inyo lahat. Thank you very much. Thank you.